Okay, so rolls, our way of creating the illusion of a sustained sound on snare drum. All right, we've talked about doing long buzzes in class with each hand, keeping the wrist firm, but not rigid, not tight, but firm, moving from the elbow so that the stick moves vertically like an elevator, not in an arc with the stick tip where you get all that attack on the buzz. We want the stick to ring as long as possible, right? So work on both hands, long buzzes together. They don't have to fall down together. They just have to be as long as you can make them. And separate those out. And start stringing them together. Very loosen your fingers. I don't put my ring and pinky fingers on the stick. I just use my front two fingers and my thumb. I'm not splaying my fingers out, putting tension in my arms. Just let them sit there. And the idea here is that once this stick goes down, the second stick's going to go down before the first stick is done bouncing, so that the buzzes sort of overlap and dovetail each other. And as we speed that up, eventually we're going to try to get a smooth, sustained sound instead of hearing the rhythm of our hand speed, what we call the roll bass or the skeleton. Also, I'll go ahead and speed up to So notice that we have and not where you can clearly hear the rhythm in each hand, right? We want to try to be smooth as possible and for those buzzes to overlap. All right, so there's my hand speed. Too much buzz. That's too much pressure on your middle finger, from your middle finger. All right. So the way that we've worked on this in class is that at moderate and fast tempos, all of our roll basses are going to be 16th notes. So if I look at page 35, number 1, the nice thing about these exercises, a lot of them gives the roll bass as a rhythm before you use it as a roll. So exercise number 1, measure 1 is exactly the same as measure 2 in terms of your hands. You just have to turn on the buzzes in the second measure, right? So that's a little bit slow. You can still clearly hear that it's 16 notes. And if you just do that much, that's a perfect exercise for working on turning on the buzzes and off and trying to make the buzzes as smooth as possible. Okay, so here's exercise number 1. 1, 2, ready, go. Now notice that the beginning of the roll wasn't an accent, and the end of the roll wasn't an accent, because the music doesn't say to accent. If they do say to accent, then absolutely do them. And normally on a roll, if you have an accent, you can either do it with 1 note or 2. A little bit different front on both of those. And sometimes the roll will have a clean release at the end, or it'll have an accent. In which case, the release is at the same volume as the roll. All right, here's number 1, one more time. 2, ready, go. number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, one more time. Okay, number 4 and number 5 start dealing with what we call 5-stroke rolls, which is an old term from rudimental drumming, but essentially 2 buzzes and then a release. Right. So in 4 we have 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN, and then that becomes the hand speed, the roll bass for our short roll. 2 on, 1 off. So here's number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Opposite side of the beat. Now, instead of the roll coming away from the downbeat, now the roll leads to the downbeat. 2, ready, go. Number 6, now we have a longer roll, 2 beats long, so 2 groups of 16ths. Right, and so for all these roll exercises, the best way to practice them at the beginning is to just use the rolls as rhythms and figure out what your hand speed's supposed to be, what the roll bass is, and then turn on the buzzes from there. All right, so here's 6, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so everything we've been doing, we've been using 16th note roll bass because we're about here in tempo. If we slow down, it may be necessary to keep the roll smooth to move to 6 tuplets, or if we go even faster, to move to triplets. Right, so I'll do the slow version. I'm gonna go back to number 1 now and demonstrate this. So here's number 1 at the tempo we were at using 16th notes as the bass. 1, 2, ready, go. Hopefully you can hear that 16th note bass in there. So if I did one without the buzzes, just the bass, ready, go. All right, then you turn on the buzzes to play the exercise. Now, if I go slow, I'm going to switch that roll bass to 6 tuplets, and I'll show you why. So if I slow down and I try to play 1 with a 16th note roll bass, you can hear that I can't keep the roll smooth. I can't make the buzzes long enough to overlap. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change my roll density, my hand speed, so that I can create a smooth buzz. So I'll do the skeleton first, just the first 2 measures. Now 6 tuplets. Into a roll. All right, so now here's exercise number 1 as 6 tuplets, with the rolls as 6 tuplets. Ready, go. Now, the same thing holds true for short rolls and long rolls. So if I go to number 5 now, at that tempo, I can't go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my hand speed to 16th note triplets, so just 1/8 notes worth, starting on the left hand. Right, so number 5 now would sound like this. And so if I play it with the 16th note roll speed again, you'll hear that it's super choppy. Here's 5 with just the roll bass. Ready, go. Now that roll bass with the roll. Ready, go. All right, so you see how that works? So typically in a scholastic setting, your roll basses are either going to be 6 tuplets for really slow, 16th notes usually, maybe triplets if you're playing something super fast. All right, let's flip over. Let's take a look at number 9 now. So now we're starting to combine 1-beat rolls with half-beat rolls. And I'll come back up to moderate tempo here. 1, 2, number 9, and go. And 13. Now we have long rolls, 4 beats long. Don't start moving your hands faster if you start playing fewer bounces. Really concentrate on the roll speed and getting the same number of long bounces on each hand. 1, 2, number 13, go. So you can hear that I just did 16th note roll basses for those entire whole notes. Okay, same thing again. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and that's fine for there. Look down at number 16 now. Now we have some upbeat rolls without the downbeats. We have a little bit of space that we have to deal with. Right now, I'll use, at this speed, same speed, I'll use 16th note roll basses. Then I'll do this one slow and play it with the 16th note triplet roll basses from before. Here we go, 16. 1, 2, ready, go. Now a little slower with the different roll bass. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. right, so that's a little bit about working on your snare drum rolls. So as you do your pick your etude for your performance test, again, you can pick any one of the etudes from 39 through 42. Any one of those etudes is going to have dynamics, some accents, right? We talked about changing dynamics and accents as articulations, rolls, flams, and drags. All right, good luck.